with all due respect.
Hey, we're Josh Ortegon and Gray Achille, and this is With All Due Respect, the show where we keep it real about health, fitness, and performance. From weight loss to sports development, we're covering the conversations that matter.
Follow us on Instagram at WaterXPod, WADR, and visit phenombrand.com, PHNM, for performance gear and training programs built for real results. Let's get into it.
All right, episode 103, and we're rocking and rolling. Anything to say?
We're rocking and rolling.
We're rocking and rolling at 103.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real in 2026.
And I'm excited for this too, because I've told you previously, I want to bring like more clients on. So I'm excited to, have somebody
Yeah.
who's been in our world for a little while come
Well,
on.
it's weird because we're going to let you introduce yourself, Blake.
All right.
Because I've learned that I don't introduce people well. Nobody can introduce themselves better than the person than they are. I'm glad we have somebody with a normal name, Blake Holloman, because we've had like 5 or 6 people in a row with these names, and I'm like, you're just going to have to go with your name and let everybody know what it is. But I do want to preface this where, like, yes, Blake has been an actual physical client, but I've known Blake since he's 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So it's different when you have vested interest in people and, sure, client. Okay. Client. Right. Call it client. But it's like our communication is there's never like a beginning of it, and there's never like a middle of it, and a place where like, oh, client Blake was my client for like a year and a half. No, like I've always had communication with Blake.
Yeah.
Then we started helping with Blake, and now we still have the relationship's really not changed at all.
Right. For sure.
Right. At all. Right. So I want to start, Blake, you just introduced yourself, and then we're going to have a conversation. And I think there's going to be a lot. Blake, I'm going to tell you, I think you're going to help a lot of people. And I think you are in life to help people anyway.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be another avenue for your story to help people. So just tell us who you are, what you do, how we know. Like, just go, dude. Just do it.
Right.
All right.
So like Josh said, my name's Blake Holloman. I live in Titusville, Florida, where I serve as the family pastor at the Grove Church. And then I also coach defensive line at Titusville High School, along with being married, raising 2 little boys. So I do all kinds of stuff. But like Josh said, we met back when I was 14, 15 years old. I was a high school athlete. Josh was training high school athletes at Athletes Arena at the time. And my mom got me connected there, and I learned how to strength train under Josh. And then Josh actually came to my high school and was our strength coach for my last 2 years of high school. And then in college, we kind of went our separate ways. And then Josh and I's story really took off in July of 2019. I graduated high school at 286. I graduated college at 335. And 2 years into being married, 2 years into being a college graduate, I was 335. I was heavy. I was uncomfortable in my clothes. My body hurt. I've always been an athlete. I played multiple sports in high school, primarily football. In college, I got really into CrossFit, and I trained really hard. I lifted really heavy, but I ate like I was eating enough for 4 offensive linemen. And so I would train hard and eat harder. And I was just at a place in my life in July of 2019 where I was so depressed, so broken up, that I just called Josh and said, hey, dude, I know we haven't talked in probably 3 or 4 years, but I need help. And we started kind of that client trainer relationship then. And in 1 year, from July 2019 to July 2020, we went from 335 to 265. And it was that was an incredible year. I learned a lot about food. I learned about how my body reacted to food, because the training was never the problem for me. That was never the hard part. Being disciplined, sleeping well, getting up, getting in routine, that was never an issue. I just couldn't put down my fork. Um, that goes back to when I was a kid. I grew up in a single parent home. I'm an only child. My mom was incredible, but she worked hard. She worked a lot. And when she wasn't at work, she made sure I was everywhere I needed to be, sports, I had all my equipment, everything. My mom was incredible, but she was gone a lot. And I didn't have siblings, and I had babysitters and grandparents. That kind of loneliness created anxiety that was driven from depression. And as I've gotten older in life and worked through a little bit of therapy, I even talked with a food therapist. I tried to fill the void of loneliness as a kid by eating. Like, I couldn't control that my dad didn't live at my house. I couldn't control that my mom worked a lot. I couldn't control that, a lot of my siblings had dads and they had brothers and sisters and they had friends in the neighborhood. And I was kind of stuck at home a lot. I couldn't control any of those things. What I could control is what I ate. And so I fell in love with creating snacks and different foods. And I've never had a sweet tooth. I've always been more of like, you keep the dessert and I'll have 3 cheeseburgers kind of guy. But I just learned that when I get emotional, I'll eat. And that carried with me heavily into adulthood. And so one of the biggest things that I was able to identify with Josh is like, man, I eat in secret. Like, I will have breakfast with my wife and then stop at Chick-fil-A on the way to work and crush 2 more biscuits. Or I'll have a hard day at work and on my way home, I'll stop by McDonald's and eat 3 or 4 cheeseburgers and then go have a full dinner with my family. I'll wait till my family goes to sleep at night. Then I'll get up, slide into the kitchen, get a glass of water, and then smash another turkey sandwich. Just trying to learn that as I process my emotions, that food's not medicine. Food's not like an emotional support blanket. And so throughout that journey of working with Josh, we're in 2020, and I've lost the 60 pounds. I'm feeling good. I'm in an intense routine. I'm getting up at 4:45 every morning. I'm working out. I'm coming home. I'm eating the same breakfast. I'm going to work. I'm bringing lunch. Things are going well. And then November 2020, my first son's born. And all of a sudden, I had an unlimited free schedule to do whatever I wanted, to lift whenever I wanted, to eat whenever I wanted. To my wife's a nurse that works 12-hour shifts with an hour commute each way. So when she's gone for about 15 hours a day. Well, I have a 9-week-old that I'm home with those 3 days a week. And I just got out of my schedule, got out of my routine, and I fell pretty hard. And so over the last 5 years of Isaiah being born and then Titus being born, and then we moved from North Carolina to South Carolina, from South Carolina to Florida, and coaching football and being full-time at the church and doing all kinds of crazy things, that weight started to creep back up a little again. Having kids is stressful. It's challenging. How I handle stress is, again, sliding in the McDonald's drive-thru. Little kids like Happy Meals. Dad likes cheeseburgers. It's a match made in heaven. And so we got to a point again in 2025 where I'm calling Josh and I'm like, man, I'm 315 and I'm not quite that 335. I'm not quite the heaviest, but I know I'm having to pull shirts back out of the attic that I thought I put away for good. Like, I'm having to pack away shirts that I bought myself when I was really proud of myself. I'm having to pack them back up, and that sucks, man. And so that's kind of where Josh and we put a plan together. And so from January to November in 2025, we got from about 315 to 293, and was kind of living in those low to mid 290s when Josh told me about a medication, I guess you will, that his wife had been trying out. He was in the process of trying out, and he thought it'd be helpful for me to kind of quiet that whisper in the back of my ear that told me I always needed something to eat. That told me when life got hard, I should grab something to eat. That little voice in the back of my head that told me that that it's time to eat. And that's when I took the GLP-1 for the first time in November. And so from November to now, quickly, and then I'll let you guys jump in and we'll go from there. But from November to now, like I said, I started at 293 the first night I took the shot, and I was 261 this morning. And so about 30 pounds down. I'm feeling good, but it's really done that. So the routine is still strong. I'm still getting up at 5 in the morning and working out. I'm still doing kettlebells. I'm still consistently walking the neighborhood and riding my bike and going on weight vested walks with my friends and building kind of a fitness community. Now I'm just able to do it with a little bit quieter voice in the back of my head, to do it with a little more self-control around the dinner table, to be able to order food at a restaurant and just order whatever the meal is and not the 3 or 4 things on the value menu that I think should go with it.
You know, Blake, I said, you're the outside of my family, outside of Rachel, and it was like a 4-month process before we even talked about Red a True Tide. And actually, I had a friend of mine introduce it to me. You were the first person I called, and I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, have you ever thought about a GLP or anything?" And you're like, "Man, I have, but like, so expensive." And like, and one thing too, Blake, you're a hard worker. Like,
Yeah.
you're a hardworking person. You work hard. You coach football. You're at the church. You work out hard. Parenting is hard. You're not a lazy human being.
Yeah.
And and I think there's a little bit of thought of like, man, is that kind of like cheating? Do I just need to get control? I said, no, man, let me tell you what happened with my wife. Let me tell you what I'm hearing from other people. I said, and knowing that you struggled with kind of the binge and eating in silence, I was like, I think this can control some of that for you and manage some of that for you, so all your hard work can start to pay off. And you were like the first person, and like me and Blake have a fun conversation because like we can razz each other. We've known each other long enough, right? That like you can like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can,
Yeah.
and what I didn't want to do is be like, hey man, I heard you're fat again.
Yeah.
What about a GL? You know, like,
Yeah.
Right.
like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to come like right back out. It'd be like somebody coming to you and be like, hey man, you ever thought about like, getting your face redone? Cause you're kind of ugly. Right. So like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, but I knew Blake well enough, and I knew like, he's the type of friend they're like, man, if you have something that can help somebody, and you're not telling them,
Yeah.
like, are you really a friend?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I also knew that like, Blake doesn't want to be one of those guys that I want to lose 100 pounds in 6 weeks. Like he understood, like the conversation we had was like, hey man, we're going to go this really slow. And if you really look at the time frame, he lost like 1.5 pounds a week.
Yeah. Which is ideal.
Very slow,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very slow. But all
Yeah.
the habits came back, and and you said something to me one time, Blake. He's like, man, he goes, I used to eat lunch with my wife, and the conversation was around what we're doing for dinner.
Yeah.
And like I would put my kids to bed at night, and the conversation was around the pancakes and bacon we're gonna make for breakfast. And you're like, we don't have those conversations anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because there's this thing in this industry, where like you got to go through the suck, and it's got to be miserable, and you got to be hard to lose weight. It's like you got to be, well, you know what? For someone that's been up and down their whole life, and there's some real reasons and issues behind the how you rely on food. You're going to look at that person in the face and tell them you don't have something that can help them, and say, no, you can't take it because it doesn't suck enough.
Or like, I mean, I can't personally relate to your story, Blake, but I imagine that sucks. I imagine that's a
Yeah.
shitty space to be in. So it's kind of the argument of like, okay, you want it to suck for somebody. Well, it has sucked for somebody, but in a different way.
You know what's
Yeah.
crazy too about you, Blake, too, is like, didn't your doctor come back to you and be like, you're the most healthiest overweight person I've ever met in my life?
Yeah. When I had my 2025 physical, I weighed, I think, like 305. And we got extensive blood work done. She checked everything. And I went back 3 weeks later to review my blood work. And she told me, she said, I'm speechless. I've been doing this for over a decade. I've got hundreds of patients, and you might have the healthiest blood work of all of my patients combined. She told me, I have to tell you that you're obese and that you're overweight and you have to lose weight, but I can't give you one medical reason why. You don't have any cholesterol issues. You don't have any testosterone issues. You don't have high blood pressure. You don't have any bad breathing number. Like, I can't give you a medical reason why, other than this piece of paper says humans shouldn't be 300 pounds. And really, Josh knows this. That's kind of been my story my whole life. I've always been the really athletic big guy. I've always been the really healthy big guy. I've always been the something big guy. Like, I've never necessarily looked terrible. I've never not been able to compete. I mean, I was doing CrossFit competitions at 300 pounds and winning. Like, I've just always been the explosive, powerful, athletic big guy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest things when I first reached out with Josh is I'd like to just be the guy. Like, I just like to be the funny guy or the athletic guy. Like,
that stuck to me though when you
to
said
not
that.
just be like the funny big guy or the whatever big guy. Like, oh yeah, that's just Blake. Now I understand at 6'5", even if I get down to 150, I'm always going to be like the big guy.
Yeah.
But just that idea of like, what would it be like to be healthy and to be athletic and to be fun and it not have anything to do with my size, just what I do.
That always stuck with me because when we first talked 5 years ago, I remember that was your thing. He's like, man, I don't want to be the big guy that can move.
Yeah.
Man, you can move for a big guy.
Yeah.
You can play basketball for a big guy. So man, you got good for a big guy. And that enters in this like identity piece. They're like, and you say this a lot to kids, right? I do believe that a lot, if you tell a kid you're going to be a problem when you get older and you're probably going to do nothing but get in trouble and go to jail, well, that kid's probably going to end up getting, like, the way you talk to kids and tell kids is I hate the word manifestation because it sounds like so like woo-saw, weird. But like, there is something that kids create. Like, you tell the kid he's the bad kid, well, guess what he starts doing? He starts being bad in class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Good luck when you get older. You're not even gonna graduate high school. Well, the kid probably doesn't end up graduating because he just that's his identity. And part of you became, I'm just that big guy.
Yeah.
I'm Big Blake. You walk into a room and you go to buy some clothes and you walk into Men's Warehouse and they go, hey, big guy.
Right.
We're gonna have fun putting pants on you today. Where's that 49? Where's that 55 jacket?
Yep.
And all of a sudden you're just like, God, dude, I just came in here to buy a pair of pants, bro. Like, I'm just trying to get some pants, pay for them, and go home because my wife said I have to have dress pants at dinner night. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we had a girl on here a few times, and I think I sent you her interview. Erica.
Yeah.
And you watched it, and dude, you were one of the ones that hit me back and were like, dude, that hit home heavy. Because she said in the interview, she said, I was always the bigger, funner friend, the bigger friend that was funny. And I was just big boned and I was just big and that was just who I was. And then she had like a pushback on like her friends. I think that happens more with women, the pushback from friends who get in shape. Like, guys I don't think guys really don't do that to each other.
I think your insecurities are typically fewer, with your friends.
Or different, right? Like different. Like, I don't care if any of my friends are fat, dude.
Yeah.
Right. But that identity piece hit home. The other thing that you said too, and we joked about it recently, Blake, you're like, man, food was so much fun part of my life.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden food's not really that much fun part of my life. And like, it's a little sad. Like, we said it joking, but you really meant it.
No, that's been a weird transition to this. Part of that overeating is I don't know how to eat until I'm satisfied. I eat until I'm sick.
Okay.
And so I enjoy food. I love eating. And so one of the weirdest parts about this is I've almost had to mourn the loss of like enjoying a meal, because almost every meal I'm stuffed long before like the plate's empty, long before the
Yeah.
food's gone. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
man, I didn't even get to taste everything. Like I didn't even get to try it all.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. You're
and so
losing
it's
money
been
at a buffet
weird.
now. You're losing
Yeah.
Yeah.
money at a buffet. You're like, I got 14, this $15.99 buffet, and I got one plate. I'm leaving money on the table. This is financially not beneficial for our family.
Yeah. You just
Absolutely.
got an all you
I
can see buffet.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, that's so fun. And other people have said that too. And I noticed that when I like food, and like I noticed that I was like, my desire to go out to eat was kind of gone. Well, why go out to eat? Because like I'm not gonna be able to like and have a lot of it. And then I started to wonder, is this how it should be? Like, is this how it was in like 1917 when we weren't eating a bunch of high processed foods and there weren't like there weren't like Little Debbie's and there weren't like all these packaged foods we could eat and you couldn't microwave up a burrito at the grocery store and smash it right there. You know, is that how regular people before all the processed foods hit, is that how they looked at food? That it was just like this necessity of how they had to eat. Sure, it tasted great, but like it's not like the center of the family.
Hmm.
Isn't food. Makes me wonder, is that how normal people is
Yeah.
that how normal people are? And I had people get on GLP and then been like, is this how normal people are?
Yeah.
Like, do they consistently has there been any other weird benefits? And I asked that because I've had people come to me with like really weird benefits. And I'm like, I don't know, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Personally, I haven't felt like the extreme focus, like this was a replacement for Adderall or anything.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
hasn't really been true for me. Um, I think the biggest things I've noticed is just I'm getting full faster. And then I'm not like, I don't sit at my desk all day long and just think about it's time to eat. I don't sit, like you said, Josh, I used to, while I'm eating a meal, start planning out the next meal
Yeah.
or get excited about packing like a lunch and snacks and things for the next day. I can actually sit at work all day and just work, and I can go to football practice from the office and just go to practice and not wonder, dang, do I have time to hit a drive through real quick? Like those kind of thoughts just aren't even in
Wow.
my mind anymore. And so those have really been the big benefits for me that I've noticed is I can go to sleep at night and feel a little bit hungry and it doesn't create a panicked feeling.
Really? So you created a
Yeah.
panic feeling. So being
Yeah.
hungry creates a panic feeling for you.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I would.
What is that?
It's funny, but it's also, like, really sad. But
Yeah.
I will be at a restaurant and get sweat on the back of my neck, like a cold chill, panicked that I'm gonna order something that doesn't come with enough food. I've I can't tell you how many times I was at a restaurant with whether it be coworkers or family or friends, and we're standing in line to order, and I just keep letting the next buddy go in front of me. No, you go ahead. I'm still looking. No, you go ahead. And the reality is, I knew exactly what I wanted, but I was panicking on would it be enough food and how much could I order without it being weird for the rest of the table. And
Blake.
I would get,
Wow.
like, anxious that I was gonna still be hungry when we left. And so I remember several conversations in the car with my wife after we've ordered at the drive-through window and we're pulling up to the next window where she kinda, like, she doesn't wanna be that wife that's like, "Are we sure that's what we shoulda ordered?" But she's also like, that felt like it felt like you overdid it."
Yeah.
And, but I would be anxious, like, clothes wet, palms sweaty, like really, really struggling with that idea of hunger. And so that's something that I've really kind of grown in this, taking this shot and getting back in a routine is it's okay to be a little bit hungry. It's okay to finish a meal and go, I'm satisfied. That's enough. And know that, I mean, It's hilarious. My mom and I talk about it. When I was a little kid, if we would eat and she'd hand me my cheeseburger, I would eat it like somebody was standing there with a gun trying to take it away from me.
Blake,
I would
wow.
eat like we were in, like I didn't know when my next meal was coming from. And I ate 5 meals a day from the time I was 6 years old. Like I never went without ever, but I would eat at a panic speed. Like it was going to run out, like it'd be taken from me. And at 30 years old, still doing the same thing. I'd eat and then watch everyone else finish. And I'd be processing, was this enough? Was this enough? What can I do? Can I get away with ordering a little something extra and either nobody notice or it come out and I eat that faster before they've all finished their meals? And that's kind of where I've noticed the biggest win through this is it's not, like we've said, it's not the discipline that I lacked ever. It was the panic that I couldn't get to go away that now feels gone. That if I go to bed and it's like, I'm still a little hungry, it's like, oh, whatever. I'm drinking my water by my bed. I'm rolling over and going to sleep and we'll figure it out in the morning. And it's fine.
You know, I hope we still see it online with fitness people and influencers, people, you know, we love to bash the struggle we don't have. Right. Right. And you see that. I mean, you work in a church, for crying out loud. Like everybody loves to bash the sin that they don't have to face every day. Right. Um, you know, there's still people out there that say that like anybody needs a GLP-1, they're just not disciplined enough. And man, if that's just the most short-sighted look at this thing, because when you hear that, like you almost had panic issues
Mhm.
and you don't think that this could be an answer for somebody, right? Like, and you've done it slow and right. I'm like, Blake, I've never personally heard somebody explain. There's probably other people out there. Gray, would you agree that somebody else out there would be like, that's exactly the panic I feel.
100%. I mean, I think we found that when we interviewed Erica, but and we're finding it more and more. And that's why I think we've opened the door of having these conversations around a GLP or whatever, just because we've never been able to relate to that, but we're hearing it from other people who are talking about food in this sense of like, that is the only joy that I had, or that is the only thing that brought me comfort. That's the only thing that was partnered with me that could get me through the day, you know? And Blake, I just think everything you said is so powerful because
Mhm.
100% there is somebody out there that's like, I feel the same exact way and I'm hiding it, and I'm not able to think
Yeah.
about it. Or you going to a food therapist and being able to dive into why this even started in the first place and where it's coming
Yeah.
from and being able to acknowledge that. Because I think just like listening to it, I hear a lot of it's like, it's just comfort. I just need to like have something there
Yeah.
that's going to
Mhm.
make me feel comfortable.
Blake, we've talked about this too. We've had this conversation 1,000 times. How many years do you have working in the church?
9.
9 years. Okay. So
Yeah.
you've been working in the church environment for 9 years. Okay. Can we agree that so many things around the church is around food?
Yeah, I mean, one of, like, the things that no pastor is allowed to say out loud, but is so painfully true in church culture, especially if you find yourself on the Baptist side of that, is, like, alcohol, sin, tobacco, sin, living with someone you're not married to, sin, gluttony, never gonna talk about.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my equals are significantly overweight. It's encouraged because every meeting is at a meal. Every meeting is like, hey, are you free for lunch tomorrow? Are you free for breakfast? Can we have you over for dinner? Hey, you just want to meet at the coffee shop at 2 o'clock for a quick snack? Like everything is built around a meal. And there's like a power to that, right? When
Yeah.
people gather at a table and when they break bread, that creates community. That
Mhm.
in itself is not a problem. But there is a culture where pastoral ministry can be sedentary and it's not wrong to meet with people in your congregation and break bread. But the problem is you're one pastor to several people. And so if you break bread for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at someone's house 6 days a week, you've
Yeah.
now put yourself in
Yeah.
a situation. And so
Yeah.
there's definitely like a heavy cultural norm where being a severely overweight pastor is an okay problem to have. And one of the really cool things that a pastor here in Titusville has shared when he went through a significant weight loss journey is he just felt convicted by the Lord that a heavenly calling takes an earthly body. And it's been that like powerful thought that we've all chewed on is like, dang, I mean, I know scripture says my body's a temple, like I get it. But there is a reality of, am I physically able to do what I'm called to do? Am I physically
Wow.
able to stand up for 30 minutes and preach and talk and not run out of breath? Am I able to go to Africa and build houses for 7 to 10 days and like do it, actually move? Can I sleep on the ground and then get up the next morning and move? Can I, I'm in family ministry, so a lot of what I do is with kids and teenagers. Can I keep up with my kids, the kids at church, the teenagers? Can I be a part of it? And then as the football coach is the more convicting.
Yeah.
Am I asking my kids to do stuff I'm not going to do? Because every coach stands up at the end of practice and says, drink water, eat good food, sleep 8 hours, stretch, lift weights, be in condition, be in good shape. Every coach says that. And how many 400-pound coaches in a 5X t-shirt have we seen stand in front of a bunch of teenagers with six packs and tell them they're out of shape?
Yeah.
And that's something that I've always taken really serious is let's not be that guy.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah. That's
one of the best things, Josh, that you ever told me is habits are caught. And I like did my own self-reflection and like my own upbringing with that statement alone and just like how much of that is really pushed out onto a kid. Like if I have a coach that doesn't do those things, I'm sure as hell not doing those things, you know?
Yeah. And great. To that point, my mom's 6 foot tall. So she shares the same thing I share of she's going to be big Lisa no matter what the scale says. She's just a 6 foot tall woman.
Yeah.
And my mom has struggled with weight gain on and off for all of her adult life. And so I grew up playing my Game Boy in the corner of curves while she did that thing.
Yeah.
I spent every Saturday morning for 3 years in the parking lot of Harbison Boulevard while she was in Jenny Craig. I watched my mom do Atkins diet. I watched her take part in every Get Skinny Quick program there was. And then what did my adult life become? Because I did juice cleanses. I did V-Shred. I did whatever placebo powders I could find on YouTube. I did carnivore diet, and I paid a carnivore guy to coach me through it. I tried paleo. I've got 5 Whole30 cookbooks in my kitchen right now. It's the same thing that I watched growing up. It just had a masculine tone to it. And so really that habit and that culture, like culture's created and it's created through language and action. And I've watched my mom struggle and latch on to like, what are we all looking for? Hope. Like we're just looking for, like no one wants to admit they willingly walked into a pyramid scheme. Nobody wants to willingly admit they threw money at a get rich quick idea. What they want is hope. They want to believe that one day this will change. One day this will be different. One day I'll look how I want to look. And that's all I wanted. And so when Josh called me about this GLP-1, I said, dude, of course I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it since the first Ozempic commercial came out 2 years ago. But what I've wrestled with is like, one, I don't want to F my thyroid up. I don't want, I don't know, are there long-term damages? And then two, I don't want to buy into another get skinny quick program. I don't want to buy into another, whatever all those products and companies were before. I just want help doing what I'm trying to do. And so I fought it for 2 years. And then talking to Josh, it kind of became this reality of man, I just need help. And if it's for 6 months, great. If it's for 6 years, great. We'll just see what happens. But it's not to get there quickly. Because I'll tell you, you can up your dose in the shot and you can be nauseous and you can starve yourself and you can watch some pounds fall off, but you'll feel like crap. I know, because I felt that a little bit. But the reality is, man, I get up. You can say I've cheated all you want. I hear that because I'll be honest, I haven't really this my first time sharing that I'm even on a GLP-1 with anyone but my wife is on this
Yeah.
podcast right now.
Wow. Okay.
Like, I
Okay.
haven't told my friends at work, I haven't told
Yeah.
coaches.
Yeah.
I haven't lied because no one's asked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just even when they but there's a reality of like, hey, if I'm cheating, then it is what it is. Because what I know I'm doing is I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning working
Yeah.
out.
That's
Yeah.
I'm leading a group
mhm.
of 15 men 2 days a week in a parking lot doing full body men's led workouts. I'm with my kettlebell. I've got my weight vest on. I did 50 miles last month with my weight vest on, pounding pavement in the street. Like, I'm eating 200 grams of protein a day. I'm drinking my egg whites raw, just like Josh gets my videos. Like, I'm doing what I need to be doing. I just finally have help to not feel like I'm starving and like panicked all the time.
The first thing I said to you too was I said, Blake, here's the deal. I said, we'll hook you up. We'll get you everything to start. I said, but I need a promise, bro. Like, this is not, I'm starting to lose weight and I don't have to do anything. You have to eat listen, 200 grams of protein for somebody that isn't used to 200 grams of protein is a lot of protein.
Yeah.
I can do it because I've just done it for so long, but 200 grams of protein is a lot. And I've said, Blake, here's the deal. I need lifting days and your protein days have to happen. You got to eat fiber. And that's your number one.
Yeah.
That's your number one. And we went slow and he did it all. And you're right. Like, and I guess the cheating thing is like I said this, I had a conversation with Rachel. I said, you have a friend and in 3 months, the friend, their dad dies. Then they get a divorce. Then they get sick. Now they're depressed. Now they're having problems. Now they can't get up and go to work. Like, it's bad. Like, life is just falling apart and they're depressed. They go to a counselor. Well, sometimes that counselor will give you a form of intervention as an antidepressant. That is a way to get you emotionally under control so you can start attacking the problems and get out of the spiral.
Yeah.
That spiral can lead to counseling, doing certain things. So eventually you get off that antidepressant. You kind of put your life together and then you keep going. Well, I kind of see a little bit of a GLP-1 as someone who's spiraling. And they're going to turn around and look in the mirror one day and they're going to be 350 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to turn around and they're going to be like, they're 45, 50 years old. Not only that, now they have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old that are obese.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're like, wow, I just passed this on to my kids.
Yeah.
Right? That's the result of spiraling. If you can get in the way of the spiraling and have some intervention to start doing these things, I just think I'm very excited for science to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you've counseled people, right? I'm sure you've counseled, Blake. I'm sure in your environment in church, you've sat down with young people and have had conversations with young people that you could write a book that would blow your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, brutal things that happen to kids.
Yep.
You don't look at them and go, you just got to have some more self-discipline.
Yeah.
You just got to suck it up a little bit. No, you offer forms of intervention and help. That's why they're coming to you. And I think part of the reason I wanted you to have it on here is, one, I know there's going to be a lot of people that listen to this and be like, feels like me. Two, I want you to be able to have a platform to tell your story because I do think it is inspirational. Right? I do think it is inspirational. And I think we need to change the narrative on this for a lot of people, and that you did it right, and that this has been a journey and a struggle. But I mean, you said it earlier, hope. Like, people want hope, right? And you said something to me, and again, it's a narrative that I've never heard. You go, I live in Florida.
Yeah.
It's warm down here all the time. How far are you from the beach?
11 miles.
Okay.
It's great.
I'm 11 miles from the beach. am I never going to go to the beach and take my shirt off? Is that what's going to happen in Florida? I'm just never going to go to the beach and take my shirt off for the rest of my life in Florida. Then why are we in Florida?
Right.
What are we doing in Florida? Right. And I'm like, there's a lot of people that don't have to face that. Right. So I just think it's an awesome story to sit back and be like, this has been there since you were a kid. There's now some hope. Did you ever, I know your wife, we've had conversation. I think I'm going to know the answer to this. Has your wife ever come to you in your heaviest and been like, Blake, I'm a little worried about your health? It's a hard conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, so I think like the pivotal moment is right before Caitlin and I got married. So 335, lifetime heaviest. My mom, who struggled her whole life with weight, sat Caitlin and I down at the Beef O'Brady's right in Irmo. And we're like a month before the wedding. And she just said, my mom was the one that was like, hey, son, I'm worried. I don't want you to have the life that I lived. I don't want you to be me. I don't want. And so I am willing, before you guys get married, I'm going to pay whatever it costs for whatever trainer you choose, for whatever kind of CrossFit, whatever you want. I just want to help you. And so that was like a pretty eye-opening conversation of like, dang, I really am like big. I really am carrying this. And, because you feel it, but when you live your life every day, like you don't, it just becomes normal. And so I think through this August, Caitlin and I have been married 9 years. So that conversation happened 9 years ago, probably this month. And, I think over those 9 years, Caitlin's always been really good about not making comments about what's on my plate, not making comments if I do or don't go to the gym, not making comments if I order new clothes. She has been good because, you need accountability. You don't necessarily want your wife to be the one that's doing it. But we have had conversations of like, hey, how was your breathing during that workout? Or, hey, what'd your doctor say when you went today? And so I think for me, I've more so carried about like, okay, is she still attracted to me? Is she still like happy with me? Is this what the life she pictured and who she kind of pictured she'd be with? And so I think I carried that insecurity a lot more than she ever put out. But then it's like, I'm also, whether she said it or not, I'm not like naive enough to not realize that when the weight came off, the excitement, like the joy, the good conversations, the joy in her ordering me new clothes and trying them on and then fitting and her celebrating those wins with me.
That's
Like
awesome, dude.
she was never like 305 to 315, let's go! Like that never happened. Or like, hey, can you help me get this box from the attic? It's my big boy pants. Like she was never like, yeah, I've been waiting for that box to come. Like that never happened, right? But that idea of like, man, I don't have any church shirts right now because these things are huge. I can't even tuck them in. And it's like, oh, let's go get some more. Like there's a joy to that. And so, there's the reality I see of like, oh no, she's into this. She's pumped on this. She's excited. She's happy I'm going to be around longer. She's happy that I'm active and wrestling with my kids. She's happy that I don't just come home at the end of the day and lay instantly on the couch. And like, oh, I'm just tired. I got to rest for a minute. No, I can't wrestle right now. No, I can't throw baseball right now. Like she's for sure grateful for all those things. Yeah.
Josh, I'm glad that you touched on too, like just the piece about this being a helpful tool in us like changing the dialect. What am I trying to say? Dialogue on this, because I think that's where we eventually came to after Erica's first episode was like we were hesitant about being on a GLP and like what it would do to people, and the moms that take it that want to lose 15 pounds but don't do anything else, but the success stories that we're hearing of it truly helping someone with mental side, right? Like just the food noise piece, or like you said, being able to wrestle with the kids, like you feel like you're capable of doing that. And now looking at this as purely what it is, like it's a compliance tool, right? It's going to help you comply to your deficit. And
I
that's
never thought about that.
that's exactly what like any kind of antidepressant is. It's going to help you be compliant to the things that you're doing. So being able to change someone's mindset, because I hear it all the time too, like, oh, she's on a GLP, she's cheating. I'm like, "Okay. Well, are you really doing all the
Yeah.
things that you're supposed to be doing or not?"
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And honestly, Gray, what helped me get over that, like, anxiety of like, "Oh, everyone will think I'm cheating or I'm a fraud or whatever," is like, no one ever said anything when I ate an entire large pizza in one sitting.
Right.
No
Wow.
one ever said anything to
Wow.
me when we were at Chick-fil-A and I got a number one combo plus 12 nuggets, and then I refilled my Coke 9 times during the lunch. Like, no one ever said anything about that. And even that idea of like, well, we don't know the long-term effects of the shot. You're right. And who knows? In 5 years, I might be sideways. But I also know that what we do know the long-term effects of being 330 pounds are. I
Yes,
know
Blake,
that we know what
exactly.
the long-term effects
Yes,
on my
yes.
knees and my hips and my back and my
Yeah.
ankles. Like, we know that. We
Yeah.
all grew up with a buddy's dad who had to sit in a chair and watch us throw ball. Like, we know that guy. And so for me, what really helped me get over it is, man, if this is bad for me, it's probably not as bad as what I've been doing. And if this is cheating, I'd rather cheat this way than continue to spiral like I have been for years and years and years. And so I
Man,
think
Blake.
my encouragement for people is, don't make decisions based on fear in anything in life. Don't
Mhm.
make decisions based on being scared that you're going to be bullied. Don't make decisions based on people tell you that you're cheating, because you know the work you're putting in. You know the integrity that you have with what you do. And, something Josh said earlier is something I've struggled with for a long time, is that identity factor. And when as Josh used the bad kid example, that's something I've been really intentional with my sons, because I have that typical firstborn son that's like, he's obedient and he's type A and he's great in school. And when I tell him to jump, he says how high. And then I've got number two that's like a typical just rascal second kid. He's stubborn. If he says that he's going through the wall, he's going through the wall. And I can yell, I can spank him, I can take things away. When he's decided something, he's doing it. But I've been really careful and not saying like, well, Isaiah's my good son and Titus is my bad son.
Mhm.
Titus
Oh,
isn't
man.
bad. He's just stubborn. He's just different.
Yeah.
And I have to parent him different. I have to coach him different. And that's fine. It's that same thing of, when you say I'm Big Blake, then every decision I make in life is based off being Big Blake. And so even when I know I'm on a diet or I'm on a fix, at the end of the day, when the panic starts to sit in, I still find myself at McDonald's, because that's just what I do.
Mhm.
And what
Oh,
the GLP-1 has helped me with is, in all my discipline and all my hard work and all my coaching with Josh and Gray and good friends in my life, at the end of the day, what I do is chase those golden arches. What I do is eat when life gets hard. And I, I told Caitlin, I told Josh 1,000 times, I have to rewire my brain into thinking I don't eat fast food, because that's just not who I am.
atomic
That's
habits.
just, I'm not on a diet. I'm not eating McDonald's because I just can't have that right now. It's just fundamentally not who I am to eat until I'm sick. It's just not who I am to put that stuff in my mouth. And getting to the place, and it's hard. Like, little kids still like Happy Meals. And so I
Yeah.
still kind of wrestle with that line, and I still walk through it. But what this shot's helped me with is, it's helped me rewire my identity
Wow.
into who I
Yes.
am and what I do, and what's okay to say no to and what's okay to say yes to, and how do I fix that, the way I view myself.
Have you found
And that's been huge.
have you found that comfort elsewhere? Have you been able to rewire that comfort, that need for food elsewhere?
Yeah, that's loaded,
It
right?
is
Because I'm
loaded.
gonna,
Absolutely.
because there's the reality of, like, it's several things. I'd be a loser if I didn't take 1 second on this platform to say that my hope is in Christ, and everything else is fleeting. Every cheeseburger, every picture with six-pack abs, every trophy, everything in this world is fleeting outside of the hope I have in Christ. But that earthly hope of what we're looking for is, yeah, there's part of it that says my comfort comes from looking in the mirror. My comfort comes from the t-shirt that I put on is a 2XL and not a 3XL. And I don't like have to wonder. I used to get up on a Sunday morning and take 3 or 4 shirts with me just in case one or two of them didn't fit right. And I don't do that anymore. And that's comforting to just know, or to be on a website and just know I can order a 2XL tall and it's going to fit exactly how I want it to. And like, yeah, I'll be vain enough to say like, yeah, that's comforting as a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
But there's also a reality of our head football coach. We had a college recruiter come 2 days ago to practice. And when the head coach introduced me to the recruiter, he said, man, Coach Holloman, he's one of the best I've ever seen. At the end of every practice, I guarantee Blake sweated more and he's worked harder than any kid he's coaching, because I'm just able to fly around for 2 hours. I don't need water breaks. I don't have to stand there and just watch the kids. When we're at football practice, it's full speed, 2 hours, balls to the wall. I tell the defensive line we have to create chaos, and I'm just chaotic out there. And I get in the truck and my shirt is drenched and I'm sweating and I feel incredible that I'm out there competing with 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so I think what's helped me as that like food noise has quieted down, I think what I've been able to replace it with is what I'm able to do now that I was not able to do before. And having a little bit of peace in the clothes that I order and the activities that I do, and not have to be stressed about, do I have the ability to do this stuff anymore?
So
You think
you
at 335 you could go out and coach? If you were
Not the
335,
way I want
not
to.
the way you,
No
yeah.
chance. Not in this Florida heat. No chance.
No,
No.
yeah,
To me, it sounds
yeah,
like you feel satisfied.
Yeah.
Like, whereas you were
yeah.
reaching for that feeling for so long before of, like, not feeling satisfied by any decision, and no food was gonna make you feel satisfied, now it sounds like you're satisfied. Oh, I think we cut out for a
Lost her.
second.
Anyway,
Sorry.
there you go. That's fine.
I'm
That's
back.
all right. So one thing I do want to say is one thing Erica talked about is there had to become a time that she actually she dug a grave and buried Big Erica. And she goes, that was really hard because I was really comfortable with Big Erica. I was really comfortable being big girl Erica. She was 313 at her highest, female, not tall. And she goes, I had to learn to bury that identity and be like, that's just not me. It's not me. It's not who I am. The rewiring of the brain of that's not who I am anymore. And man, I do believe that one of the hardest parts in this is that there will be times that the devil will sneak in your brain and try to be like, you know, you're always going to be Big Blake. And you're like, no, I don't have to be. That's not, that doesn't have to be my, and they're going to do it. You're going to roll back. You're going to have situations that come up that are stressful. And you're like, man, you know, you're never going to be able to run from that, Blake. It's always going to be there. No, it ain't. Don't have to. Don't have to be. And that's powerful. But being able to bury that person and be like, it's just not me anymore, man. Like, I don't have to put my kids to bed at night and be like, can't wait for the pancakes and bacon in the morning. Like, you know, you don't have to do that anymore, man. And like, it's hard to say, it's weird too, because when you talk to somebody about being 260, you're like, oh, they're 260. I'm like, everybody's 6'5", bro. Like,
Yeah.
and I know you've always, didn't you tell me that one day the big goal would be able to write down that you lost 100 pounds? Like, that's your
Yeah.
big goal. But ultimately, the goal is like, I just want to feel good and be moving
Right.
around. And like if the 100-pound loss is more misery and I'm just gross, like lost a bunch of muscle and
Right.
I'm not even better, then don't do that. Right. Nobody
Mhm.
wants you to do that. But I just think it was so important um, to have the story be told, because one thing I've learned in this podcast is that I have dude, last week, and it comes out Monday, we interviewed this lady from Massachusetts, great founder, and I'm just like, yeah, bring her on. Dude, she was a breast cancer survivor and going through that, and she helps women in cancer and to exercise, and people post cancer told her story and all that kind of stuff. The most positive I'm like, I just need this person to just leave me a voicemail every day.
Yeah.
I did. I even messaged her. I sent her a shirt, and I was like, man, if I ever need something, can I just call you to pump me up about it? Can I just call you and be like, hey, it's been a bad day. And she's gonna give me 30 seconds of something. I'm gonna be like, all right, I feel good.
You just need
I'm
her
ready
to
to go.
you need her to take,
It's
one
good.
cameo so you can just save it and add it to your folder and just watch it whenever you need it.
They just watch it.
Yeah.
And you leave that, and I'm just when the podcast comes together, I got so many people I'm gonna send it to.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to listen to this lady. She's incredible, incredible. And the podcast has really opened up because I'm like, man, I need to find stories that can I don't want to just impact the person right there that we're talking to, me and her. I want to create some things where somebody can, I want somebody 10 years from now to see you somewhere and go, man, your story really inspired me, dude, and
Yeah.
I changed my life because of it. That's what, and I never felt that need until I have a kid. Because it's not until you have a kid you start to create, you start to think wait, something alive is going to be here when I'm dead. Like, you're
Yeah.
I'm going to be dead, and there's part of me still going to be alive here. I need to figure life out real quick.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what's going on and get my crap together, because I'm going to be dead and gone. This kid's still got to figure out life. So I need to figure this out quick. And I just want that. Man, I'm so excited you come on. I mean, I wanted to preface this. You started out with oh, it was Josh's client, but we're boys, bro. That's so great. We're
no
boys.
doubt.
We can talk trash about sports.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I low key enjoy it when Blake's teams lose, because I know I'm gonna get some of the best text messages in the history of the world. I never get great text messages from Blake when Bama's winning,
That's right.
when the Dolphins are doing great, right? When the Red Sox are winning. I never get
God,
great
your
text
teams are
messages
all
when
over the
those teams are
place.
winning. Yeah, they are.
That's right.
And you know what?
That's
You know what the
childhood
cool
trauma, Gray.
you know what? Yeah. Sports are an extension of childhood trauma for
Yeah.
for people that
That's
have
right.
sports. What I love about Blake is there's a reason why he loves every one of those sports, every one of those
Of
teams.
course.
There's a history in his life why he loves those teams. You're like, why does a dude from South Carolina like Boston? Well, he'll tell you why, right? And why they like this, and it's connected to our childhood. I get the best text messages from Blake when the Dolphins get beat by 30. And I look forward and they're great. Do I secretly want your teams to lose? No, I don't, because I know what it's like to be in the tank
Mhm.
when your favorite teams are sucking, and you're just like, dude, how many times have I sworn off baseball season by now? The only reason I still watch baseball is because the Cubs are winning.
That's
The
right.
Cubs are great. I love baseball right now. By June, I could tell you, we could have a conversation. Blake's like, dude, did you watch that baseball game? I said, baseball season's over, bro.
Yep.
We're not watching anything. How fast was football season over this year in the NFL for you?
Mhm.
Oh, it never
Like-
started. They just skipped this year. It was like another COVID year.
You had a COVID year.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, this year didn't happen. We're just moving on
That's
to the next
so
year.
funny.
I get the best text messages from Blake when the teams lose.
Mhm.
And it's great. It's phenomenal. And that is, that is another thing that we share. So, hey, thank you for coming on,
That was
man.
awesome.
I appreciate you coming on. That was really awesome. I loved your perspective. I think people are going to love your perspective.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm so happy for you, considering I've known you since you were 15 years old, right? It's
Yeah.
different when it's I met Blake 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And started losing some weight. It's different when like the kids you knew when they were 15 now have kids, right?
Yeah.
It hits different, dude. You think about it, you have kids, bro. Tyler Renew has kids.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to sit back and be like, buddies have kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have kids. It's like, what are we doing? Are we sure that's okay? Do we know what we're
Yeah.
doing? Like, are these kids gonna be okay? Like I hear people having kids now. Dude, Rachel did a wedding last week, and it ended up being a Ben Lippen girl. And it was all girls that I knew when they were 15 years old, and I'm like, "Wait, they're old enough to get married? What are we doing?"
Dude,
Mhm.
there are 4th graders that weren't alive when I got married.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. There's high school kids that have never heard of the movies I watched as an adult. It's crazy
Oh
Mhm.
how
my
quickly time's gone.
oh my gosh, isn't that true?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we're gonna run. I
Yeah.
Thank
appreciate
you
you
so
coming on, man.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm grateful for you guys, grateful for the opportunity.
yeah, man.